Welcome to the Lambs to Lions podcast. Thank you for joining us. Whether you are exploring your faith in God or looking to grow deeper in your walk with Christ, you're going to be encouraged, challenged, and transformed by this teaching from God's Word.
All right, so I get to talk about fun, Yay! Which is actually harder than you think. Yeah, there's definitely, you think about the Bible and all the positivity in it, and the joy, Lord, of our strength, and all these really fun things, and praising God, and you think of a lot of positive stuff, but there's also a lot of stuff in the Bible that is not positive. So it's hard to pick that out and figure that out. But, I managed to find something, and so hopefully it works out. But yeah, so what a time. So we've been talking about the 5 Fs. If you've been with us for the month, it's been awesome. And hopefully you guys have been taking note of what those 5 Fs are, and what and how we can address them in our lives. The 5 Fs are all very important in our lives. And it's something that we need to manage forever, right? It is something we always need to be thinking about, always on our minds, in order to keep a good balance in life. So I don't know about you, but in my personal life, I've noticed that let's say the levels, if I just think of tubes with fluid in them, literally levels. That's how I picture it in my brain. And those will fluctuate all the time in my life, depending on where you are in your life. Sometimes money's down, or whatever the case may be, or my fitness is down. And so I just got to work on balancing those levels out. So, and I've also noticed that there's always one that kind of just stays a little bit lower. Right? I don't know if about you. So there's always one, there's always a little bit lower, and it's actually really tough to get that higher. It's always harder than the other ones. So are you guys with me on that one? Yeah. We all have our separate, some are same, some are different. But there's the thing, if we have a weakness, another one's strong. And that's why we need to be together in these times, right? And, whenever you want to fix something in your life, the first thing you do is you tell someone about it, right? And we just told a bunch of guys in front of it. So it's all right, so now we're accountable, and now we hold each other accountable, right? We build each other up. Yeah. This is what Lambs Alliance is for this very thing, is keeping each other close and building each other up. So that's the reason why I did that. And let's continue doing that. Let's hold each other accountable. Let's, if someone's like, I'm not good at going out and have fun. Well, some of us are. Be like, why don't you come with us, right? Let's figure that out, right? And finances. There's guys here that have connections to financial advisors and all that stuff. This message is a little bit about finances, because it just, the 5 Fs, they all work together. So anyway, so we'll dive into it. So let's go to Ecclesiastes 3. And it's about 22 verses. So I think we'll just all read a couple verses for it. Again, if we want to start online, I don't think I lost everybody. Did we? Okay. Pastor Mars, do you want to start off again? You're just on the top of the square. So
Ecclesiastes 3, is that what you said?
Yeah, we'll start with 2 verses.
A couple of verses, okay. To everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck what was planted. Verse 3, pass.
Nathan, if you got it.
My app's having a hard time here. What's the Bible?
Ecclesiastes 3 and then verse 3.
Ecclesiastes 3:3.
Yeah.
3:3.
And 4.
Okay. A time to kill and a time to heal, a time to tear down and a time to build, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance. Past verse 5.
A time to scatter stones and a time to gather stones, a time to embrace and a time to run away, a time to search and a time to quit searching, a time to keep and a time to throw away. 7.
A time to tear and a time to mend, a time to be silent and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace. 9.
What do workers gain from their toil? I have seen the burden God has laid on the human race. He has made everything beautiful in its time. He has also set eternity in the human heart. Yet no one can fathom what God has done from beginning to end. Verse 12.
I know that there's nothing better for people than to be happy and to do good while they live, that each of them may eat and drink and find satisfaction in all their toil. This is the gift of God. 14.
I know that nothing God does will endure forever. Everything God does, nothing can be added to it and nothing taken from it. God does it so that man will receive him. Whatever is has already been, and what will be has been before. And God will call the past to an account. 16.
And I saw something else under the sun. In the place of judgment, wickedness was there. In the place of justice, wickedness was there. I said to myself, God will bring into judgment both the righteous and the wicked, for there will be a time for every activity, a time to judge every deed. 18.
I also said to myself, as for humans, God tests them so that they may see that they are like the animals. Surely the fate of human beings is like that of the animals. The same fate awaits them both. As one dies, so dies the other. All have the same breath. Humans have no advantage over animals. Everything is meaningless.
That's a wow, Vince.
Yeah.
Give me the good one. There we go. Well, I'm feeling good. Hallelujah.
Both go to the same place. They came from the dust and they return to the dust. For who can prove that the human spirit goes up and the spirit animals go down to the earth? So I saw that there's nothing better for people than to be happy in their work. That is our lot in life, and no one can bring us back to see what happens after we die. What a great passage. Did anything stick out to one of you guys? Or again, I'll pick on Pastor Moore. I love picking on Pastor Millers. He picked on me for 9 years, so I'm picking on him. Yeah.
I didn't pick on you. I helped you turn you into the man you are.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And in doing so, I picked on you. Anyway, I like the way it opens up, right? Right in verse 1, to everything, there's a season, a time for every purpose under heaven. Yeah. I think people get lost when they have no purpose in their life. You know, they're just aimlessly walking, or they set their purpose in the wrong way. I mean, they set their purpose towards drugs. They set their purpose toward violence. They set their purpose toward those things, and those things bring destruction. If you want to have a positive life experience and enjoy all of this other stuff that he's talking about here, without it becoming vain and just learning to live in life, then you set a purpose. And whether that purpose is one of your 5 F's here, but make a purpose and set yourself toward that. And in doing so, you can fulfill then a life excluding vanity because you have a purpose. So
that's good. That's great. How about one guy in-house here? Yes.
I think one thing that stood out to me was a time to hate.
Time to hate? Okay.
And I was like, when is that time? And I immediately thought there's a time to hate sin.
Yeah.
You know, there's always a time to hate sin.
Yeah.
You know, and I think sometimes just hating cycles that we are in that never allow us to live free or to our full potential.
Sick and tired of being sick and tired. Yeah.
I hate this cycle I'm in, and that's why I reached out to Mike to get some help with my fitness and my nutrition. Because I hate the cycle that I've been in for so long. So, anyways, that stood out to me.
That's great. Yeah. Awesome. All right, I'm gonna get blasting through this. So, I have a story about myself, and what's that? I'll try to keep it to one. But it's the reason I'm going to be sharing a story about myself is I'm going to show you a mindset that I used to have versus the mindset that I have now. And this mindset that I have now is what I'm trying to set as the foundation of this message so we can get to the main point. So there's a little bit of a setup there for you. So every time I'm up here, I share a little bit of my life, like I just said. I'm sure lots of you know my work history. To remind you, I'm a Red Seal mechanic that started working at car dealerships, worked at GM, and I worked at Hyundai. Got my apprenticeship through that company and managed to become EV specialist, electrical specialist, and a master tech. And I achieved all of those before I even got my Red Seal. And so, ironically enough, the Red Seal was the last achievement. Oh, and then I got that's it. And then, as well as on my way to become the shop foreman after that time. So, all was going well at my job. The money was coming in quicker than I could spend it. There's little to no problem that I couldn't solve on these cars that I was working on. I felt very confident with what I was working on. Even in my brain, I was like, I'm set for life if I stay here. Because as they come in, I would read, study those cars as much as I could. I would take my off time and just study them and figure them out. I would write down any issues they'd have. I report them. And I had lots of ways of keeping my mind on top of these cars. And my relationship with God was great. My fitness was great. I was playing hockey all the time. I was doing hikes. And my finances were great. My fun and family levels, however, were not good. I would work, and be so exhausted by the end of the day, just like Aiden said. I would still go out and do the things and have fun, but I wasn't fully there. Mm-hmm. My family was not getting the best of me. I would come home by 9:30 at night and just crash. Right? And I would just go back to doing the exact same thing the next day. For 7 years, I did that routine. And until I gradually got worse and worse. If I was able to get home right after work, I would crash for an hour to half an hour, whatever time I had, and then I would get up and go and off to the next thing. I was single at the time, didn't want to be, did not enjoy my job at work. Even though I was good at it, I did not enjoy it. There were hard times in my faith that I was going through. Like, there was difficult seasons at the church at the time, and we're in a time of prayer, let's say. And so in that time, my faith started to drop, but I just kept working and working and working. Trying to fix my state of sadness by working more and more and more, brought me to my first point, which is, what are you getting for all your hard work? Verse 9. What are you getting for all your hard work? So when we were branded the College Street Victory Church, we were blessed with an amazing team from Alberta, led by our very own pastor, Matt. With also having Pastor Morris with us as well, which was so awesome. When the team came over, this boosted my faith, right? It was an answer of prayer for all of us. And my relationship with God since he prayers. So it boosted my faith and my relationship with God, right? Because my prayers were answered, and it was just an incredible thing. It's something we've been praying for years, 9 years. The more time I spent with Pastor Matt, the more I started to realize the state I was in at my current job. Within that year, I quit my job. They begged and begged for me to stay, promising the foreman job that never came, offering me more money. And I kept telling them, it's not about the money. It's not about the money. And I walked out. In 7 years, I just walked away. I made a very big decision within a week. I was like, time to go. And I just left. They even continued to offer me even more money after that. So I had to burn the bridge. I said, don't call me. It's not happening. And the new job I went to, my paycheck was literally cut in half. And I did not know how to work on this type of stuff. I knew it was something that would be fun, but I had no idea what I was going into. And that's why I went there, because I needed to rely on God at that time. And I realized the reason I kept saying it's not about the money, is because when I was working there, I realized the only thing I was getting for all that hard work was money. Mm-hmm. Money, doing that sacrifice in life. I realizing that I was making all this money and I was sacrificing the life and potential that God had for me. Mm-hmm. I know that sounds a little bit like, some of you, I'm sure some of you have gone through that, where you feel like you have to choose between God or money. But that's not the case for 1 Timothy. 6:10 says, for the love of money is the root of all evil, right? It doesn't mean that like you have to give up money to love God. You may have to give up the love of money for God, but you don't have to give it up, right? You just got to figure out what your priorities are. So point 2 is work to live, don't live to work. I'm sure a lot of you heard that one before. No doubt our source of income has become a big role in life. It's so big that we can make it the whole reason to live. That seems messed up to me. The purpose, what's the purpose of investing in a job so much so we continue investing into it? We go into this circle, like, I need more money, I need more money, I need more money. And then to get what? More money? Is that your goal? Because people think once I have this, I'll be set. Ask any rich person. They can have everything in the world and they're still not happy. You hear that story over and over and over again. And these people that have money are telling everybody, this is not the answer to happiness. And so they give it away, right? Because that's not the source of happiness. Yes, they can help companies that help people, right? It's a very important thing in our lives, but it's not the source of happiness. I think of a song, it's by Need to Breathe, called Money and Fame. And one of the great lines of it is, I found the bottom from the top. And so, that being said, what are you working for? I know men will run in the circle for years and years and years, and it breaks my heart. God has designed each and every one of us specifically for a reason. He looked at me and said, I need DJ for this reason. Yeah. And he looked at Aiden and says, I need Aiden for this reason. I need Delton for that reason. I need James for this reason. Right? And I know I'm pressing hard on our jobs right now. And I hope I get you thinking, but some of you might love the job. Some of you might love your job and some of you might hate your job. And this isn't a message on whether you're at the right job or not. I believe I was at the right job when I was working at the dealerships for the time I was there. The reason I believe that is because I looked to God for the answer. I wasn't happy there, but I stayed because I felt I was called to be there. Mm-hmm. So even though it was a weird time, but I was very unhappy, but yet I felt like I was supposed to be there. And it did feel like I had to suffer for a bit to be in this moment. And it didn't make sense to me, but it was so tangible, whereas the point was like, I'm going to stay even though I hate it here. Right? So like, it was a tough thing. And that mindset alone was important to realize that just because it sucks doesn't mean it's the wrong thing, right? There is a time for suffering at times, and I knew God was teaching something to me. Now the hard part was, what the heck is he trying to teach me? I was like, God, what are you teaching me so I can get out of this, right? I was like, what do I need to be released from? And that brings me to my third point: is everything you do for the glory of God. Yeah. So when I was working here, my situation didn't change. My mindset changed. I was working for money, but now I work for Jesus. The mindset alone changed everything. And when I figured that out, within that year, I was released from that job. It literally happened within a week. I wasn't even planning on quitting. I literally went to a different place, and I was just buying a part, and next thing you know, I'm getting offered a job. And then my life got flipped upside down right in front of me. And I was like, and I had to pray about it. And then literally, again, I said this earlier, the only reason I made the decision is because it scared the heck out of me. I didn't know what I was going into, and I would need God to walk through this. Yeah. At the dealership, I was set for life, just like I said before. So I was like, why would I need God? That was my brain. So I was like, I'm out. See ya. The quick decision once I figured that out. Yeah. Don't do the lottery. So that's a sliver of my testimony of where I am now. And I can, to quickly share what happened after I quit. I was only there for a year to the job I am now. But in that 1 year, I was able to meet my wife, right? And be family with this team that I've grown to love. And they helped kind of beat the toxic mindset I had that was still in there for a time. So God used me for a season in that time, and it was incredible what it's done. I'm still seeing fruit from that 1 year. That was 21 to 22. So anyways, that's a sliver of my testimony. I say that all because that is the mindset we need to be in order to be working for the right reason. When we work for God's glory, it changes everything. Who I work for now doesn't take care of me. God takes care of me. Yeah. Through this company, right? So I'm serving God through the company I work for. So now that we understand that mindset on who we're serving, let's go back to Ecclesiastes 3:12, which says, I had it here right in front of me. So I concluded that there's nothing better than to be happy and enjoy ourselves as long as we can. So we're talking about fun. That's still the message. I did focus a lot on work and money because those are two things that can rob us of our joy. So I want you to understand that we can have all these things. You can actually enjoy your job. It's a real thing. You can enjoy it. Even if you're in trades, you can enjoy it. There was a time where I didn't think you could. You can enjoy your job and you can have fun there. That's a very important thing to understand. For as we know, the joy of our Lord is our strength. And I promise you this, if you are able to tackle this concept, your life will improve in so many ways when we rely on God's strength. Also, make time for fun outside of work. This is very important in the core of this message. In order for us to be the men that we're called to be, we either need to do the things that we enjoy or we need to change our perspective when we are having fun, right? And Coach Down's going to be talking about that a lot more. A lot of us, even there's a lot of men here that I go out and have fun with a lot as well. And those are all great things, but we got to stop thinking about our work. We got to stop thinking about what stresses us out, right? Because you could be, we could be water skiing or something and just thinking about, how am I going to fix this car? It's just like, you're really having fun. It might look like it, but it's not, right? So there is a time to just let go of what's happening and be in the present. And I know as men, it's hard to be in the present, right? So like I'm if for anyone that knows me, I'm a silly guy, right? So if I'm stuck, I'm at work, and I'll try to make it the best out of it. The most important thing I try to do at work is I don't bring it home with me, right? It gets, the second I'm out that door, I don't even know what's happening. They're not paying me to think after that, right? So, right? It's they don't have my time after work, and so the reason I do that is so I can be in the moment of the places where I'm at. Yes, I understand. I'm not a perfect person. I definitely get stressed out outside of work. The motorcycle, if I don't have music on, there's a lot of thinking that's going on. And so sometimes I got to snap out of it, pull a burnout or something to get so you can tell when I'm stressed on a motorcycle. But do something that you really have to pay attention. And so, but there's ways that to work on this. And like, again, I'm tackling the mind because that's our biggest enemy, ironically, is that we got to snap out of these things in order to have fun. So yeah, like I said, Coach Delton's going to talk a lot more like that, and I'm really excited for that message. But I'll say the foundation of changing our perspective anywhere, and this is our takeaway, is anywhere we are, everything we do for the glory of God. Good. No matter what, we serve God, and He will bring us joy. He will bring us the fruits of the Spirit, and you will find joy. You will find how to have fun. And again, we have each other's men. We're here to build each other up and work on each other. And it's a fun battle, right? And believe it or not, like, again, when I was at my last dealership, I didn't realize it, a lot of the stuff, until I quit. Especially when my family says, we're so happy you quit because we're seeing DJ again. And that was heartbreaking because I didn't know until after I made a decision. So think about that for yourselves, men. Are you being who you're called to be? And are you being the man that God has called you to be? If not, let's work on it. Okay, let's stand for me. Let's pray. And just repeat after me. This is for anyone online, or if just someone that's struggling to hear. We always do a salvation call. And so we'll just pray. Father God, thank you for so much for everything you do. Repeat after me. I believe that you died on the cross.
I believe you died on the cross.
I'm asking you to come into my heart.
I'm asking you to come into my heart.
And change my life.
Change my life.
To become the man that you called me to be.
Become the man you called me to be.
I'm choosing to follow you.
I'm choosing to follow you.
From now on.
From now on.